Hi, it's Sylvester. It might be a little bit weird for a 32-year-old man to be making a YouTube video about boobs, but I am a trans-masculine non-binary man and I used to have boobs, so I feel like I get a pass. Now, like I said, I used to have boobs. I had them surgically removed. I'm very grateful to have gotten that surgery, and it changed my life for the better. I absolutely do not regret having that surgery. But the thing is, just because I had a lot of gender dysphoria around my boobs doesn't mean that I necessarily hated my boobs. There's a difference between hating something and knowing that something is wrong. Like I didn't hate my boobs, but I knew fundamentally that they were not meant to be there. Somewhere deep down, I just knew that I would feel a lot more comfortable if they weren't there. But I was like kind of proud of my boobs, and a lot of people don't really understand that. And back in the day, I did get a couple YouTube comments of people accusing me of not really having gender dysphoria when it came to my boobs, because I used to do drag videos where I would show off my boobs. I would have lots of cleavage. And I've spoken about this before in previous videos, but I thought I would make its own dedicated video to kind of address that, because I can understand how that would be confusing. A lot of transmasculine people, especially transmasculine people who have gender dysphoria around their boobs, would want to hide their boobs or just pretend that they don't exist, whereas I was showing them off. And so I can understand how that would confuse some people and make some people think that I don't have gender dysphoria or didn't have gender dysphoria around my chest. But I showed off my boobs for two main reasons. The first reason is because I like getting views on YouTube. For whatever reason, I like it when strangers on the internet pay attention to me, and it's just kind of a fact of life that if you have boobs and you show off your boobs in a YouTube video, that video is probably going to get more views than other kinds of videos, because a lot of people really like boobs. And I really like YouTube views. And so the drag videos where I would show off my cleavage, they just did better. Like, people just watched them more, and people seem to enjoy them. And that makes sense because a lot of people like boobs. I mean, I like boobs. Boobs are great. I didn't like having boobs, but I like boobs. Don't get me wrong. I don't discriminate. Big boobs, small boobs, all boobs are beautiful. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. The thing is, like, I was trying to make the best out of a bad situation. I was trying to turn lemons into lemonade. Like, I had these boobs. I didn't ask for them. I didn't want them. I didn't like having them, but I had them. So might as well make the best of a bad situation and use them to get something that I want, which is YouTube views. The other reason why I liked showing my boobs off was because I wanted to feel, it made me feel empowered to show my boobs off. As somebody who was assigned female at birth, who was raised female, socialized female, I've been taught by my society that if you have boobs, you should be at least a little bit ashamed of having boobs. And you should not want to show them off, because if you show them off, then you're an SLUT and people won't like you. And if you show off your boobs, then that means you don't respect yourself. It means other people shouldn't respect you. It's just society shames people with boobs for having boobs. And especially if you don't try to hide those boobs, then you are considered to be less than. And so it was a rebellious act to show off my boobs. It was me reclaiming power over my body. It was me making a statement that it's okay to be an SLUT. It's okay to show off your boobs and to be proud of your body and to love your body and to show off your body within reason. You know what I mean? Like, you don't go around naked. That's illegal most places, I'm pretty sure. But, um, you know, a little bit of cleavage never hurt anyone. Like, who is that hurting? People obviously like to look at cleavage. Like, the problem isn't that we as a society hate boobs. We love boobs. The world we live in, people love boobs. But people hate and shame the people who own those boobs. And again, I think that's really hypocritical, and I think that's really damaging and harmful, and I think it's just absolute nonsense. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with having boobs and showing those boobs off. I think I think it's harmless. So to me, showing off my boobs was a rebellious act. It was empowering, and that's why I enjoyed doing it. But just because I had gender dysphoria and had to have my boobs removed doesn't mean that I hated my boobs. I thought they were nice boobs. I mean, all boobs are nice boobs. All boobs are beautiful, but, you know, I didn't hate my boobs. And this honestly kind of confused me because I thought that in order to have gender dysphoria around my boobs, that would mean that I had to hate my boobs. And I didn't hate my boobs. I kind of used to like my boobs. Like, I used to like playing with them. They were fun to jiggle and squeeze and push together. And they were fun to play with. They were kind of fun to have. I didn't hate my boobs. And again, that confused me. But I hated having boobs, and that's the difference. I loved my boobs, but I hated having them. And I know that to a lot of people that's not going to make any sense, but that's the only way I know how to describe it. And I wondered if a lot of my gender dysphoria was actually social. Like, if we lived in a world where it was considered okay and normal for a man to have boobs, would I have needed to have them removed? And I don't really know the answer to that question because we don't live in that world. We don't live in a society that tells trans men that it's okay to have boobs. And so perhaps part of the reason why I needed to have them removed was because of social pressure. But it's also something more than that. And again, I don't really know how to describe what I'm talking about here, but if you've experienced gender dysphoria, then I'm sure you know what I mean when I say it's not entirely social. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.